Samahanta Chakkawalesu Atra Gacchyantu Devata Sadhammang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokhadang Dhamma Sawana Kalo Ayang Badanda Dhamma Sawana Kalo Ayang Badanda Dhamma Sawana Kalo Ayang Badanda Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So today's talk, the title of the talk, you all know already, the power of mind. So before I start this talk, let me pose a question, and this question is posed by a deva, a deity to the Buddha. The deva asks, by what is the world led around? By what is it dragged here and there? What is the one thing that has all under its control? And the Buddha answered, the world is led around by mind. By mind, it is dragged here and there. Mind is the one thing that has all under its control. So as a conclusion, mind leads the world. So mind is a powerful element that affects our whole being. However, the power of it is almost unknown. So today, I would like to reveal to you how the mind affects us, even to the whole planet of the world, to the whole world. Okay. So, when we talk about mind, we know mind can be divided into two categories. One is wholesome mind, one is unwholesome mind. And what is wholesome mind? Whatever mental state that is morally praiseworthy and productive of happy result is called wholesome mind. So this wholesome mind must be associated with good mental states like generosity, loving kindness, compassion, patience, and so on. Wisdom, concentration, faith, mindfulness, and so on. On the other hand, unwholesome mind, whatever state of mind that is morally blameworthy and productive of painful result, is called unwholesome state of mind. Okay, and let us see first how the wholesome state of mind can protect us from the danger and harm that fall upon us. Okay. In Abhidhamma, we know every good state of mind, or whatever state of mind can produce, we call cittaja rupa, matter produced by mind. So this cittaja rupa, matter produced by mind in a group, we call kalapa, rupa kalapa. So inside that, a group of elements called Rupa Kalapa, there is one called Tejo, heat or temperature. So whatever good state of the mind can produce Citta Rupa, matter produced by mind internally. And inside that Rupa, there's one called fire element or temperature. That temperature has the potency to produce new generation of temperature-born Kalapa. And this temperature-born Kalapa can spread out outside the body, can generate more and produce one generation after another. And it can travel far, very far. So suppose you have a good intention or good mind, and that good mind can produce Citta Rupa, and that inside the Citta Rupa there's fire element that can produce Rupa, can produce new generation of Rupa Kalapa, then travel fast. And that things that travel fast is called energy. In easy understand language, we call, or in Chinese we call 磁场, or in English we may call energy, good energy, or good vibration. And that good vibration, that good energy has soothing effect on either animate things or inanimate things. Let us give an example. During Buddha's time, let us take Buddha's as an example. During Buddha's time, Devadatta has evil desire. He wants to harm Buddha and take over his position. So one day, he make an elephant, Naragiri. He intoxicated that Naragiri elephant. And when Buddha come for Pindapata on the way, and he let loose that intoxicated elephant, and that elephant rushed very fierce, rushed violently to the Buddha. At that moment, Ananda, who is the attendant of Buddha, wanted to sacrifice his life in order to protect Buddha. But Buddha said, Ananda, don't worry, no one can harm me. So on the spot, Buddha used loving kindness meditation, radiate loving kindness metta to this intoxicated elephant. May this elephant be well and happy, free from anger, and so on. So his wholesome mental state associated with loving kindness produce matter produce my mind. And inside that fire element also generate new generation one after another, and that energy, that vibration come out from his body and create a very wholesome vibration that has soothing effect on that intoxicated elephant. And the elephant, when he come near to the Buddha and change his behavior change and become from aggressiveness become soft, and he kneel down in front of the Buddha as though paying respect to the Buddha. So from this incident, we come to understand the wholesome state of the mind emit very strong good vibration that has soothing effect on the aggressiveness on the other party. This first of all, we are protected simply because of the wholesome state of the mind. You don't have to use weapon to fight with the elephant. Just use the power of the mind to overcome, or in Chinese we say 化解, to overcome, to dissolve all the dangers and harm that come upon you. Or you may say that, this is Buddha's power. I don't have that power. Okay, then I will give you one of my own example. Okay, many years ago when I was in Penang, living in a forest, in the midnight, I woke up in the midnight because I feel very strong, painful sensation all over my body. Then I checked what was wrong, what was happening, and I saw many black, tiny ants all over my body and biting me. That very tiny black ants, although it's very tiny black ant, but the bite is very painful. I feel my skin become inflamed immediately. So I try to pick the ant out from my skin. However, it's too many, so I cannot do. Finally, I think the only thing I can do is to radiate metta. So I sit up and send metta to these black ants, black tiny ants. May all these black ants be free from anger. May they be well and happy. Again and again, I think about 3 minutes. Amazingly, the black ants stopped biting me, except 1 or 2 who are slow receiver from my metta. However, first time when I do not send metta, they bite me, I can feel the pain. But after radiating metta, 2 ants bite me, I cannot feel the pain at all. I know there's a biting, but there's no painful sensation. Why? Because the mind is in wholesome state. When your mind is in metta, in wholesome state, you cannot feel any pain that inflict upon you. So from this experience, I learned a lot of lessons from this experience. First, metta can dissolve all the dangers. Secondly, when your mind is in wholesome state, you cannot feel any painful sensation. No wonder why Bodhisattva, when he practiced his bodhisattvahood in order to perfect his parami, sometimes his hand, limbs was chopped off. Before I have this experience, I always wonder why Bodhisattva cannot feel the pain. The limbs was chopped off by other people. Ear was chopped off. How can't he cannot feel the pain? I cannot understand why. Until my own experience, being bitten by the black ant and no painful sensation at all. Then I start to understand why Bodhisattva cannot feel the pain. This is the power of the mind. When you have the mental wholesomeness, that mental wholesomeness has such a power that you can't feel the pain. It's very amazing. Okay. And the third story I want to share with you, another power of the mind, is Sakka's story. Sakka, the king of the gods. One day, a yakka, a deformed yakka, appeared in the Tawatingsa, and he sat on the seat of Sakka. And all the devas in the Tawatingsa get very offended and get very annoyed by his behavior, and they try to find fault in him by telling some angry words, abusing that deformed yakka. But the more the deva find fault in the yakka, deformed yakka, the more handsome the deformed yakka becomes. So all these deva was very stunned, scratching their head. What's wrong? What happened? The more we find fault in him, the more handsome he turns out. The more handsome he becomes. So they relate this story, this episode to Yaka. It's very amazing. So they tell the whole story to the king of the gods, the Yaka. And the Saka. And the Saka said that this Yaka must be anger-eating Yaka. Anger-eating Yaka means that you get angry with him, he eats your anger, he becomes more and more handsome, more and more strong. Okay. Then the Deva said that, the Saka said that, okay, let me deal with him. So he wear his upper robe and go in front of him and kneel down one of his knee on the floor and put his palm together, like pay respect to this Yaka, which is much lower than his position. Then Saka said that, I am Lord of God, I am Saka. He called his name for 3 times. So with Saka's patience and humbleness, he behaved very humble to those who are more inferior to him, not superior to him. So with this power of the mind, the power of the humbleness and the power of patience, and declare his name to the deformed Yaka, and this Yaka suddenly becomes smaller and smaller, become more and more deformed, smaller and smaller, until it disappears on the seat. So Saka, by using the power of the mind, the power of wholesome mind, subdued the anger-eating Yaka. Therefore, we should not we should not underestimate the power of the mind, especially the wholesomeness of the mind. Okay. Another wholesome state of the mind, like compassion, karuna. The compassion or karuna has healing power in our own body, which we do not know. Many of us very concerned about how meditation can kill my body, can cure my body. This is very common question people ask. Therefore, today I also want to share with you how compassion meditation, even no need meditation, just a thought of compassion that arouses in your mind can immediately create a healing power in your body and heal your sickness. I experienced this many times in my life. I can simply take one example. There's one day I was in Los Angeles conducting a retreat. In the midnight, I have acute pain under my abdomen, lower abdomen. It's such an acute pain. I scream because it's so painful. So I have to scream in order to lessen my pain. Although I also note impermanent, but it looks so permanent. Then I say non-self, but I myself also get affected. So these 2 ways not applicable. So finally I change another way, compassion. So I use my hand, put on the location where I feel so painful. Then I radiate loving compassion to all beings. I say that, may all beings be free from the acute pain I now endure. May all beings be free from the acute pain I now experience. So after, I think, few minutes, I fell asleep with acute pain. No one can feel sleep with such painful sensation. But I fell asleep until tomorrow morning I get up. When I get up, there's only little bit sensation on my abdomen, no more painful sensation. And I tried this method for many instances. My headache, my abdomen pain, and many times that any sickness that occur in my body, which I cannot cure by contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta, but I can heal it through compassion meditation. Just arouse the thought of compassion. Then this compassion immediately creates a healing power in the body. I hope the doctor won't get offended by me. Otherwise, no one to go and see doctor already. Okay, so you can try it. We all have this power of the mind. Unfortunately, we do not have confidence in ourselves. Therefore, the power of the mind is not fully manifest. It's not fully manifesting. Okay. This is the wholesome side of the mind. Let us talk about a little bit the unwholesome state of the mind. When we call it unwholesome state because it's morally blameworthy and productive of painful result. And what are the unwholesome state of mind? The state of mind associated with anger, greed, jealousy, conceit, wrong view, stinginess, and so on. Okay. And before I give you further story to enhance your understanding, let me talk about the force of attraction. The force of attraction. One day, Buddha saw Venerable Sariputta was walking back and forth with a group of monks. And he also saw Venerable Mahamoggallana was walking back and forth with a group of monks. Similarly, Venerable Mahakassapa also was walking back and forth with a group of monks. And finally, he also saw Venerable Devadatta was walking back and forth with a group of monks. And Buddha said very important words. He said that it's by way of elements that beings come together and unite. By same element, beings come together and unite. This is called the force of attraction. The same element come together. Then Buddha said that those follow Venerable Sariputta are of great wisdom. Therefore, they are attracted to Venerable Sariputta, who is foremost in wisdom. And those who incline, their element incline to psychic power, all of them will follow Venerable Mahamoggallana. Same element will stay together. And finally, Buddha said, those who follow Devadatta all have evil wishes. This is how the same element make being come together and unite. And I call it the force of attraction. So when your mind has, they say, when our mind has anger, when anger arises in our mind, and this anger will emit energy. As I say, we call first emit cittaja rupa, the rupa produced by mind, and inside that kalapa, there's also tejo, fire element. That fire element will produce new generation out of the body, again and again, and this can travel far, travel very far. So if they say the anger that arises in our mind will emit that vibration, since it's anger, therefore it emits anger energy. And that anger energy will attract another anger energy to come close to you. Because same element will come together and unite, right? For example, my own example, okay? That's many years ago, almost 15 years ago. One day, when I was arguing with my fellow practitioner over an issue, so both of us engaged in this argument, and my mind get very annoyed and very irritated, agitated. At the time, I do not know how to contemplate my agitation as impermanent, as not a self, as cause and effect. I do not know how to contemplate this way. So, with the anger in my mind, and I left the place and went back to my own dwelling place through the back gate. There's a back gate. So when I entered into the gate, there was a dog lying there. So the moment I enter into the gate, and the dog suddenly rushed to me and attacked me. And I fell down immediately. At that moment, I never understand why this dog attacked me. This dog was there many days already, even months. Why today he attacked me? At the time, I don't understand my mind, and I don't understand how the power of mind works. Only a few years later, when I recall this episode, I start to understand why the dog attacked me. I think now you know the answer already, right? Why the dog attacked me? Why? Because of my anger. Because my angry mind emits violent energy that provoke his violence. Otherwise, especially animals are more sensitive than the human. So the energy that emitted, the anger that emit the violent energy that provoke his violence as well. So this dog thought I want to attack him because I come with anger. So he has to protect himself. Therefore, he attacked me first. I fell down and the dog ran away, of course. But from this, I start to understand the force of attraction. So if you want to attract the good energy, or the wholesome energy, loving kindness energy, compassion energy come to you, you yourself have to radiate that type of energy first. If you radiate the anger one, then you attract the anger energy to come near to you. This is my practical experience. Right? At that time, I don't understand the power of the mind, the power of wholesome mind and the power of unwholesome mind. Through my many experience, practical self-experience, personal experience, I start to see clearly how the mind works and how the mind affects our whole beings, as well how the mind affects other people, even animate things, even animals, animate things, even the whole world, the whole planet. I will tell you later. Okay? And another example is in Burma. In Burma, there was a very famous monk stay in the forest. And as you know, those who stay in the forest have to practice loving kindness meditation. Otherwise, you will be harmed by wild animals. And so this monk stay in the forest with a kapya in another kuti. So there are 2 kuti. And very often, a tiger come and sleep under the monks, below the monk's kuti, because it's cao jiao u, high building. Below there's a space, so a tiger always came and sleep under the kuti. So one day during winter, and the kapya was burning some firewood to keep himself warm. And at that time, the tiger also slept under the monk's kuti, below the monk's kuti. And suddenly, the tiger yawning. So when tiger was yawning, he opened his mouth. And this kapya, unable, don't know why, suddenly an evil thought arose in his mind. He said, how if I throw a firewood into his mouth? Don't laugh at him. Sometimes all evil thoughts will suddenly pop up into our mind without we have the intention. Just an elusive thought. So the thought arises in his mind. He said, how if I throw a firewood into his mouth? And this is called evil thought, right? Harmful thought. As I told you before, animals are very sensitive to sense the thought energy, the thought vibration. So the tiger seems to understand this violent energy. So he roar very terribly. The tiger roar. And the monk in the kuti heard the tiger roaring. Then he told the kapya, hi kapya, do you have bad thought to the tiger? And the kapya was so shocked. Because the monk knows the working of the mind so well. And the kapya was very shocked. Immediately he realized his evil thought. So, and he also get very frightened. If the tiger attack him, he will die, certainly die. So he quickly changed his mental state. Maybe in his mind, the story didn't say very clearly, but I assume he asked forgiveness from the tiger. He said, sorry, tiger, just now I had bad thought for you, please forgive me. Then once he changed his mind, and the tiger go to sleep again. So this is called how the energy that emit from our unwholesome thought can affect other people. Okay, another incident. The unwholesome state of mind not only can provoke bad energy to come near to us, but also the unwholesome mind also can hasten or speed up the ripening of bad karma. If we always entertain the unwholesome thought of the mind, then this unwholesome thought of mind speed up, hastened the ripening of our bad karma. So one of the nuns related to me. She said that one day she has some argument with her teacher, and I think she cherished some misunderstanding towards her teacher, and she get very, very angry with her teacher, and she left the monastery immediately. Left with anger. And after 2 or 3 days, still very angry, then she came back. Before came back to the monastery, she stayed in one devotee's house. At that time, she went up, because it's old house, a traditional house, they must climb the stairs in order to enter into the toilet. So she climbed up to the stairs and finished the business. Then when she walked down, suddenly she fell down, and the edge of the stairs hit her spine, and she was injured. Then after some time, she started to understand. This is not careless action. This is the ripening of bad karma. Ripening of bad karma. Then only after some time, she started to understand why that bad karma ripened to her. Because she entertained anger for a few days. Her mind is in the unwholesome state for a few days, and this attracts all the unwholesome energy or unwholesome bad karma to ripen faster. Therefore, we as a human being, we have done a lot of wholesome karma. We also have done a lot of unwholesome karma. Each of us want to avoid the ripening of unwholesome karma, right? So one way to block the ripening or to delay or block the ripening of unwholesome karma is always keep your mind wholesome. Always keep the wholesome thought in your mind. Then the wholesome thought will attract the same force, same pleasant mind to you, same pleasant environment, same pleasant or pleasant, wholesome resultant to you. So these are a few story or few story or few examples, a real story. They happen in order to tell you, to reveal to you how the wholesome mind affect our well-beings and how the unwholesome mind harm us, provoke the violence of others, and finally we ourselves are affected. So the mind, the evil mind, unwholesome mind, not only affect oneself and others, but also the unwholesome mind affect the planet, the world. Because Buddha say in the Anguttara Nikaya, number 4, Buddha say, at such time, as kings are corrupted in mind, are not righteous, the ministers, the priests, householder, and villagers are also corrupted. This being so, the moon, stars, sun go wrong in their courses. So when the king, the head of the country, the king and the priest and the minister, householder, all are corrupted. And the moon, the star, and the sun also will go wrong in their courses. Sun and moon are to you maybe inanimate things, right? No life to you, to us. It appears sun, moon, star have no life, and yet they are affected by humans' corruption. This is what Buddha said. And Buddha further said that days and nights, months and fortnight seasons, and years are out of order. When beings are corrupted in mind, day and nights, moon, month and years also out of order. And the wind blows wrongly. The time to blow the wind, no wind. Not the time to blow the wind blows. So the wind blows wrongly. And out of season, the wind blows wrongly out of season, then the sky doesn't rain sufficiently and seasonally. If the sky, especially for the farmer, certain time they need the rain, but the rain doesn't fall. So there's no harvest at all. When there's no harvest, then we have no food to eat, right? So the sky doesn't rain sufficiently and seasonally, and crops ripen in the wrong season. Men live on such crops are short life. weak and sickly. So nowadays we have a lot of sickness, right? It's also because the human minds become more and more corrupted. Therefore, they affect the harvest, affect the crops, affect the sun, the moon, the rain, the wind. So what we eat are not nutritious things anymore. Therefore, our body become weak, sick. This is what Buddha said in Anguttara Nikaya number 4. So from all this saying and story, we come to understand the power of the mind cannot be underestimated. As a human being, we want to live happily. We want to live with ease. So what should we do? Take care of our mind. Not only for ourselves, also for our family, our friends, our country, our neighbor, our country, even for the whole world. However, we are human beings. And Buddha said in Dhammapada, the mind inclined to evil. The mind not naturally inclined to wholesome, but the mind inclines to evil. So when an evil mind arises in our mind, we know the effect already. The evil mind arises in our mind, it will attract the same force. The same evil mind will come to you that cause you harm and danger. Therefore, we have to prevent the evil mind from arising. But if it really arises in the mind, what should we do? What should we do? So in Majjhima Nikaya, number 20, Vitaka Santana Sutta, Buddha mentioned, Buddha gives 5 ways to overcome distracting thoughts or unwholesome thoughts. First, Buddha said, if there's any unwholesome thoughts that arise in the mind, you should use their opposite state of good mind to overcome it. Let's say, when the anger, unwholesome state of the mind arises in the mind, then what is the opposite wholesome state of mind to conquer, to overcome this anger? Yes? Metta, everybody know. Metta, loving kindness, everybody know. But have you ever tried when you get angry, you still can radiate metta? Not easy unless you put into practice for a period of time. Otherwise, it won't come automatically, right? You practice a period of time already, and it becomes part of your habit. Then you can use the metta to subdue your anger when it arises in you. Otherwise, you say, wait, when I get angry, I radiate metta. Never work, I tell you. There's a story. One Australian monk, I think most of you have heard this story before because I've told it many times. He was practicing loving kindness meditation. So when we practice loving kindness meditation, first we radiate loving kindness to oneself, ourselves. Then second, we radiate loving kindness to our respectable teacher, same sex and still alive. So when successful, we radiate to the third type of person, we call neutral person. And when successful, and we change to the fourth type of person, enemy, our enemy. So when this Australian monk, he was successful in radiate loving kindness to himself, second to the respectable teacher, third to the neutral person. But when come to the fourth person, enemy, there was a great challenge for him. But he tried very hard. So one day he came to his teacher and told his teacher he said that when I try to radiate loving kindness to my enemy, may my enemy be free from all danger, be well and happy. And he said that I am so afraid he really become well and happy. So from here, you know, even he has practiced metta for so many days and successful in a few person already, but come to a person he doesn't like is a great challenge. Therefore, loving kindness cannot work all the time. So you have to change another method. So Buddha say, if you use the opposite method, that loving kindness cannot subdue your anger, then use the second method, second option. What's the second option? Buddha say, you should reflect the danger of the anger. The danger of anger, just now, I already give you many examples. The danger of anger provoke the violence of others, and that violent energy will come upon you, and you will be harmed first. I already give example of how I am attacked by the dog, right? So you should reflect the danger of the anger. If you want to save yourself from all dangers, you have to give up that anger. Otherwise, the anger keep on emitting violent energy that attract many danger to come upon you. So you should reflect the danger of anger. But sometimes when the mind gets so angry, the mind cannot think skillfully. The mind cannot think wisely. Also cannot reflect the anger, the danger of anger. Then what should you do? Buddha said, there's third option. Don't pay attention to that anger state of mind. For example, when you get very angry, don't entertain that anger thought. And shift your attention, transform your mind, shift your attention from that anger thought to other things. If you like to hear music, turn on the music. So can avert your attention to other things. Or take a book and read. Or call your friend and talk. You should, Buddha say, change your attention. Don't focus your attention on that anger, but think something else. Divert your attention. Just like when, for example, you have eyes. You can see many people in front of you. And so happen, the first one is your enemy. So how can you prevent yourself not to see your enemy? Close your eyes. Yes, close your eyes, that's all. Or you see other direction. But sometimes when you see your enemy, you already know when you see your enemy, that will provoke your anger, but you want to see more. You want to see more and make yourself more angry again. Therefore, mind is very difficult to tame. Mind won't listen to you. Mind only listen to you when you tame it for a long time. Otherwise, no, it won't listen to you. You already know, when you see, you get more angry, and yet you want to see more. Okay, so by avert our attention to other things, then we can free ourselves from that torturing thought or that harmful thought. Still, Buddha said, the third option also cannot work. I still want to see him. So what to do? The fourth option. And Buddha said, you should investigate the cause of your disturbing thought. What is the root cause that makes you so angry? So you keep on investigating the root cause one after another. And as you keep on investigating the root cause, even though you cannot solve the cause, you also have already avert your attention to that angry thought. So keep on investigating until one day, or until to the end of your investigation, you may or may not find out the cause, but you already avert your attention from that disturbing thought. But if you can find out the root cause, then you solve the root cause. When you solve the root cause, then your anger, agitation will resolve, will disappear, will go away from in your mind. This is called cause and effect. So you know your anger is an effect of the certain cause and keep on working on that cause. The Buddha's teaching is killing the cause, not killing the effect. For example, there's a dog and there's a lion, and you stand there. You take one stick and throw to the dog. What will the dog behave? Bark, or bite the wood, bite the stick, right? Okay, then you throw another stick and throw to the lion. What will lion behave? Yeah, attack you. So in the teaching of the Buddha, we must behave like the lion. We must, we should not behave like the dog, but we must behave like the lion. The dog, when a person tries to hurt or beat the dog does not know how to attack the root cause of his pain, right? But he go and bite the stick, the wood. If the dog keeps on biting the wood, but I'm here, I can still throw again the wood or the stick, and the dog will be harmed again and again. There's no end to it. But the lion behaves differently. Lion is smart. He knows he was hurt, he was bitten, he was harmed, not because of that stick. Because of what? Because of the person who threw the stick. He is the one. So I directly attack him, then I will be free from all dangers and harm. So as a practitioner of Buddha's teaching, we must behave like the lion, not the dog. So this is the fourth way. Keep on investigating the root cause of your disturbing thoughts until you find out the root cause and tackle the root cause. And all the disturbing thought will suddenly dissolve. Okay? So this is the fourth way. However, Buddha said, sometimes it fails again. Fail, not successful. Mind cannot work, cannot function. When mind gets very angry, cannot function. No yoniso manasikara, cannot think wisely anymore. So Buddha said, last option. Last option is, Buddha said, clench your teeth and place your tongue above your roof of teeth, above the roof of your upper lip, upper mouth inside, and use energy, effort, and using good state of mind to beat down the unwholesome state of the mind. Harrowing effort, strong effort to take the wholesome state of the mind and beat down the unwholesome state of the mind. So lastly, Buddha emphasized, we cannot tolerate with any evil thoughts. Finally, use first, second, third, fourth. The last one, use energy or hold your, and bite your teeth, and use the wholesome state of the mind to beat down the unwholesome state of the mind. These are the 5 ways to overcome disturbing thought. And if these 5 ways also fail, then we have to take care of ourselves already. Take care of ourselves to start to create, to perform unwholesome karma. Once you cannot control in the mind, the action comes. When you perform the action, then bad karma is performed. Any bad karma, good karma or bad karma, once performed, leave behind bad effect, or we call vipaka, in the stream of our mind and body. When time ripens, unwholesome or painful result will take place. Therefore, I say the last one, if we fail in all these 5 ways, we are ready to make unwholesome karma and wait for the result to ripen and suffer accordingly. Okay, so therefore, Buddha said in the Anguttara Nikaya, because I do not see even one other things that, when developed and cultivated, leads to such great happiness as the mind. The mind, when developed and cultivated, lead to great happiness. So, by attending today's talk, I hope this talk can awaken you the power of the wholesome mind that can protect you, that can protect the whole world, and the power of unwholesome mind that can harm you and that can harm the whole world. So I wish you to cultivate and develop your mind for your own benefits as well as for the benefits of the whole world. Thank you. So we have some question and answer session.
So questions?
If the mind is always so noisy inside, very noisy inside because of psychosis, how to keep the mind still?
Go for meditation retreat.
Exactly.
Mind will never listen to us if you do not train the mind. So how should we train the mind? Is go for meditation retreat to cultivate stillness of the mind, or to cultivate the mind of mindfulness, and to contemplate all this state of mind are impermanent. And it takes a long time. It takes a long time to really develop and cultivate the mind. Okay? Slow better than still. Okay?
Questions?
No question.
Any more questions? Okay, if we have no questions, I will give you one more chance. Sayalay is seldom here, so if you want to ask questions.
Okay, this.
Okay, at the back.
Thank you, Sayalay. It's very enlightening, but one problem I always encounter, this problem is sometimes the mind in the stage of unwholesomeness, but I myself could not be aware of it until suffering came. So how to improve?
Very easy. Come to my center and meditate. Why you are unable to aware of that unwholesomeness when the moment it arises? Because of lack of mindfulness. Your mindfulness is not alert. Your mindfulness is sluggish, slow. So we have to, to train our mindfulness to be more alert, fast, strong. Then the moment any thought, not only unwholesome thought, even the random thought, the thought without any wholesome or unwholesome, that arises in your mind, you also know not to speak unwholesome thought which is so gross. Now, even random thought with the mindfulness, you are able to aware of it and immediately see it passes away. That's not difficult. As long as you can sacrifice your time and go for retreat for a period of time, then your mindfulness, you will build up the strength of your mindfulness, and at that time, you have the control over all the unwholesome state of the mind, as much as you can. Of course, cannot control all, but as much with the alert mindfulness, you know what's arising in your mind, then by observing it, it disappears. Or by contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta, it disappears. And we are safe. Because when that unwholesome state of mind disappears from the mind, we will not act with, we will not perform unwholesome karma, and no unwholesome result will be left behind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do we have more questions? Okay, now we have a lot.
Thank you very much for the talk. I'm just wondering, the unwholesome mind, can be caused by the bad karma, or what is the root cause of the unwholesome mind? Because sometimes it's like, yeah. Okay.
In the Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha say unwholesome. The root cause of unwholesome mind is unwise attention. Unwise attention is mentioned in the Anguttara Nikaya. We do not pay. We see things in a distorted way. We do not see things according to the truth. Let's say, anger mind arises when you see the enemy. Anger mind arises in you because you think that enemy is a person, and you see your anger is permanent. You see your anger is permanent, and that enemy is your enemy is a person. He's always trying to harm you. All this are called unwise attention. You do not think wisely according to the Dhamma. You think unwisely, that create more and more discomfort and anger in you. This is called unwise attention. So what is the wise attention? According to the sutta, the wise attention is attend to all things as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. This is what Buddha said, not what I say. So attend to whatever you see, you hear, you think, you thought as anicca, dukkha, anatta. This is called wise attention. Therefore, I always teach my students to contemplate impermanent. Even I print the impermanent on my center's t-shirt. Inside there's one impermanent. I hope that t-shirt can help my teaching. So if you can always think impermanent, anger also impermanent. The anger other people have to you also impermanent. Your anger also impermanent. So if you think when anger arises, think impermanent, then you let go the anger very fast. Or you think by way of cause and effect. or you think by way of ultimate reality, there's no self, only cause and effect, then you can prevent all the unwholesome thoughts to arise, or even they arise by way of contemplating the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. You can overcome the unwholesome thought. Another reason is that because of the root cause, latent tendency of anger, all of us have latent tendency of great hatred and delusion. So this great hatred and delusion lie dormant in our heart. When our sixth sense bases come to contact with undesirable object, unagreeable object, and this lie dormant latent tendency will come up to the surface, come up to the mind level. So the anger arises because of eye contact, because of seeing enemy, or greed arises because of seeing beautiful object. So the anger come up to the surface of the mind. And at this moment, if you have no mindfulness, as the yogis, one man say, no mindfulness, don't know the unwholesome state has arisen in your mind. You don't even aware of it, then you will perform karma. So the most important, since we have not yet removed that latent tendency, only Arahant has no latent tendency. Sagadagami has destroyed some already. Anagami has destroyed some. So as long as we have not yet destroyed or removed or uproot this latent tendency, anytime the senses, the six sense bases come to contact with six sense object, owing or due to that contact to the pleasant or unpleasant object, then this latent tendency will come up to the surface. No one can avoid, I tell you. No one can avoid it. So the most important for our own welfare and happiness, we must develop mindfulness. Mindfulness know what is happening in your mind at that moment. So unwholesome state arises in the mind, know it first. Know it. But mindfulness itself cannot liberate us, cannot bring us to liberation. We need another mental factor which is most important. What is that? Wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom penetrates, wisdom knows whatever arises is impermanent. Whatever arises is suffering, whatever arises does not belong to a self. It belongs to cause and effect. So once you are aware of what is arising at this moment, this is the first step you should do. First step you cannot do, no second step. So first step you can aware of what is arising at this moment, then second step, apply wisdom. Contemplate this state of mind is just a cause and effect, just arising and passing away. It's suffering because it causes you suffering, right? It's suffering. Since it's suffering, why get hold of it? Let go of it. It's called wise attention. So to answer your question, why all this unwholesome state arise in the mind? Because inside our heart, we still have latent tendency. We call anusaya kilesa. When this anusaya kilesa come to the contact with sense object, it will pop up to the mind. No one can escape from it, unless you are Arahant. So then the second is, why this unwholesome state arise? Because of unwise attention. We do not attend to it according to Dhamma. We do not attend to it according to the truth of anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Okay?
Same question.
Just now, three or four persons put up a hand.
They are shy.
Maybe
the brother here first, and then followed by you.
Okay.
我可以用 华语
OK， 好的。
是这样的，就是在学习那个慈心观的时候啊，每次来到第4个人的时候，我就是挺头痛的，因为
就很痛苦。
不是很头痛，
很头痛。
找不到，因为我有一些经验，就是说某一个人他就是我可以算是他是我的敌人吧。不过呢，我好像就是反正找不到那个 object， 这样就是说又好像不是，然后所以就在修炼这个慈心观的时候，来到这个部分的时候呢，我就基本上是草草了事的。是怎么办呢？就是可以不要有敌人这个部分吗？
可以，但是如果你不能够 break the barrier， 就是怎么讲呢？你对敌人你起不了慈心的话呢，你的慈心是不圆满的。
不是，我根本没有把他当成敌人呢。
那就不用。如果你一生中没有敌人 ，is your blessing。如果你一生中怎么找 squeeze your mind 都找不到一个你不喜欢的人呢，这个是你最大的祝福了。
不喜欢的人就是敌人吗？
对，对。
不过
敌人有分最大的敌人跟最小的敌人嘛。你不要我们做慈心禅，不可以一下子要做最大的敌人 ，then you get yourself into trouble。所以就从一点点你稍微不喜欢的人做起。
因为其实我有一个对象是这样的，就是说，我是想，因为就是我是挺喜欢他的，不过呢，他又做了一些背叛我的事情嘛，对，这样的情形，就是说，然后呢，我就告诉我自己 ，OK， 在头以上的不关我的事，是由业来解决它，OK， 然后在头以下的，好像说他本身就是有时候比较弱啊，他需要一些就是补品什么东西呢？我是会去安排给他，所以这样的话，他算是我的敌人吗？
你自己知道，你还问我？你要自己知道吗？你要知道，你对他感觉完全没有不喜欢，没有什么的话，就不是你的敌人了。但是你对他还有不喜欢的话，可能就是你的小小的一点敌人了
然后他就算是我的一个 object， 然后我就还是send到他我不喜欢他，然后就没有敌人了。所以基本上就是第4个object 的话的目的就是我们要send到我们没有敌人的概念。
先到你最重要的是到最后的 meta， 就是说。你自己，你亲爱的老师，尊敬的老师，跟中立的人，跟敌人，你对他们的 meta 是平等的，不会说这个是我的老师，我多一点，这是我的敌人，我少送一点，还是送不起来，这个 meta 就是不平等，然后要全部平等，才是真正成功。
萨埵萨埵萨埵。
师父，阿弥陀佛。Because the world now is facing the terrorist threat. So is this 共业 collective karma? And then how do we solve this problem? Because the whole world is made up of many religions. Other religions may not believe in cause and effect, or they don't believe in karma. So how do we solve this?
I think if Buddha appear, also Buddha cannot solve this problem. I don't think I'm greater than Buddha. Terrorist attack is one of the, threat. It's one of the many disasters in the world. It's not the only one. Okay. I think, from my point of view, we purify ourselves first. If we can purify ourselves with a lot of good state of the mind, as I say, this state of mind can emit vibration, good energy that can affect other people. Why should we ask other people to change and yet we remain the same? Right? So better don't ask terrorists change. Please change yourself. No, we ask ourselves to change first. Okay? Okay.
Questions?
Thank you very much for your sharing. I have probably a more practical question. Work environment. I'm quite sure a few of us face the same thing. We go into meetings,
Because of what?
if you go into a meeting,
Meeting.
okay, and especially if you got into a very important negotiations, and both parties are obviously fairly aggressive, and it's chaired by people who are more senior than you, and you are there, and you see everybody, the angle in the whole room is so bad, and other than walking out of the room or quitting the job, how can we help to overcome this constant challenge?
Very easy. You all know the answer already, right?
Yeah, other than sending metta to 20 people in the meetings.
Do this one first. If not successful, I will give you the second way.
So you can actually do that in even a big meeting with 20 people.
Of course.
So
Of course. I give you one example. When I was
you.
in China, I think when we stay in China in the people's house, we have to report to the police. But at that time I do not know the rules. So when I want to extend my visa, then I have to go to the police station, and the policeman, one of the officer, very big size, come out very fierce, come to me. Why you do not report first? You know, when I see him, my gosh, okay, I step here, sending metta. The more I say metta, he melted. Finally become so kind to us. I just sit there, no need to do anything, no need to argue with people, just sit there silently, sending metta. And I change his behavior. So in the same way, in a meeting, they quarrel, then you say metta. Let them quarrel, you yourself say metta. Okay? And if this fails, then we try another method. But if you never try, how you know it's not work, it doesn't work, right? You have to try first. The trust and faith in what Buddha says is very important. Okay?
We have this sister first. We have the pink shawl.
Yeah. Sayalay, thanks very much for a very enlightening, talk. Anger is really a very common problem that everybody is facing. My question here is that, is there a way that we can help others when, others become very angry? For example, like if a couple, they have quarrel over certain things, then the wife will start, though they love each other, but then, when come to quarreling, they try to use very harsh and abusive words. And that only makes the other party getting more angry. So, as an outsider, as a third party, I just wonder, is there any way that we can help, one party, for example, the wife, to calm down herself and not to use, abusive word to get the other person more angry?
I think this is the fault of love. The fault of love. The more you love the other party, the more you care, the more you are hurt. The more you get hurt faster. So I think the love sometimes must be accompanied with equanimity a little bit. Otherwise, the love become too sensitive, become and create the what you describe. Because love itself is very selfish. So if you can love, if this wife and her husband can love each other at the same time, keep some distance. Keep distance also very important. Keep some distance and have some equanimous, not only attachment. Have some equanimous, then I think the relation will improve. Okay?
Okay, we have this sister.
How come ask me this type of question? This is not my domain.
I think tonight's session, I hear a lot about uncertainty, fear and stuff. If we are always so fearful of what happened next, and who will we hurt next, won't we feel very guilty of thinking or doing it? Won't we feel that we should not even go for it? But if fear is always there.
You mean fear?
Fear is fear.
You mean fear, is it?
The fear.
Okay.
If fear is fear, love is love. Fear and love comes and go together. As much as I can give out, sometimes I still get hurt so badly. I can forgive and forget, but the memory of the experience takes time to heal. Meditation can help only a bit. What else can I do to keep me still?
You say meditation only help a bit. What type of meditation you are practicing with? Music to me is not meditation. Meditation, there are two types. One is stillness, one is contemplate. For example, fear, love, attachment, because I think you all always perceive they are real, permanent. Even attachment is not permanent. Therefore, people finally divorce, right? Fear, why the fear arises? When many people, Asian, Western, or Indian, many people have fear. F-E-A-R, fear. I don't understand why people have fear. Only when many people come and tell me I have this fear and that fear, I was stunned. Because to me, fear is something not yet happened, right? It's something not yet happened. Since it's fear of something, it's something like fear of terrorists. Terrorists will come to you and watch. This not yet happened. So why should we fear of something that is not yet happened? So when the fear arises in you, just not contemplate. Fear is not a self, fear is not a self, not a self. It's just a mental state arising and passing away, arising and passing away. Let it go. Therefore, through my teaching experience, I feel that many sufferings can be avoided. However, because we don't have the skill, we don't have the skillful means to overcome them, so they persist in the mind. It's for this reason, in my teaching, I always ask my student to contemplate impermanence, whatever good state, even happiness, arise, not impermanent, because soon happiness will go away. So when you note impermanent first, when it really goes away, you know it will go away. So what? Therefore, I say that I conclude that many suffering can be avoided if we have the skill to handle with it wisely. This is what I mean meditation. So if you come for meditation retreat, you are not only learning the stillness of the mind, you also must learn the skill how to handle with your unwholesome thought, or how to handle with your mind, because the mind is very wild, and we always believe whatever arises in the mind as real. When you believe it as real, it persists in your heart. So you must try to see its elusive nature, its arising and passing away. Only then you will not be cheated by your mental state. Okay, last question.
Yeah, can we keep this question to the teaching? Yeah, to the Dhamma teaching, yeah.
Thank you, Sayalay, for the talk. Can I ask, how does knowing Nibbana object can destroy the root latency of anger?
Say it again.
How
Slowly.
does knowing the Nibbana object
Nibbana object
can help us to destroy anger completely?
How Nibbana?
Yeah.
Nibbana object. can help us to destroy anger.
Yes,
Oh.
at the root.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the Nibbana object that helps, it's the path and fruition, path consciousness. We have 4 types of path consciousness. One is stream enterer path consciousness that permanently remove the defilement of doubt towards Triple Gem and personality view, and also clinging to rites and rituals. So when we practice insight meditation, we keep on contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta, keep on, even all our thoughts that arise as anatta, impermanent. Finally, we reach a state, we give up the identification view towards our mind and body. We no more identify my emotion as self. We no more identify my anger as self. We no more identify my jealousy as self. We no more identify my faith, my wisdom as self. So by vipassana meditation, keep on seeing non-self nature of whatever state that arises in your mind and body, then that defilement will not take root in the heart. Right? Then from stream enterer, we go to the second stage, Sakadagami, to the third stage, Anagami. Anagami permanently. Because by keep on, the way to stream enterer is the same. Keep on seeing 5 aggregates, or keep on seeing what is arising in the mind and body as anicca, dukkha, anatta, as empty of self. Then the self view, the view of self will become less and less. Then when you reach Anagami path consciousness will permanently remove the anger forever. So the only way is not the Nibbana object itself, it's the path consciousness has that power. And that power comes from the accumulation from keep on contemplating whatever arises in the mind and body as impermanent, as suffering, as non-self. Again and again, million times. Throughout the years, many years. Okay?